Yeah. It was a movie, all right. We're here. We're seeing Violent Night. This is Meredith, by the way.
Yeah.
We're about to go in. Thoughts, expectations. Personally, I think it's gonna suck.
I hope it's good.
She hopes it's good.
I hope it's good.
You hope it's good.
Hope
Anything else to add?
It has David Harbour in it, so.
She's a big Stranger Things fan.
Yeah.
All right. We will update you when it's over. Please let it be good. We just got out.
It was great.
I hated that. It was so bad. That movie sucked. I think what this movie's gonna do is it's gonna separate audience into two categories. Either you're going to think it's one of the greatest movies ever, like she does, or you are going to despise it like I did.
It was a good movie. It was good.
If I had left without knowing how it ended, I would have been satisfied. Like I didn't care about that ending. I didn't care about the movie about halfway through.
I thought it was great.
So there you go. It's a divisive movie. Full review when I get home. So I realized Meredith's about to leave. She didn't say her review of Violent Night. So Meredith, what would you give it?
I give it a good 7 out of 7. 7 out of 10. And David Harbour did an excellent job as Santa.
What if he really is the real?
There's no such thing as Santa.
These bad men, they're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
And what do you...
All right, I'm back home. I need to unpack. It was a lot of movie to take in. I know you guys are probably expecting by my mini review in the car where I said I hated it, that I absolutely despise this movie and I'm giving it like a 0 or something. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. There were moments throughout where I enjoyed myself during this movie. However, those moments are very few and far between in what is an hour and 47-minute long movie. There were probably only about 3 scenes where I had a genuinely good time. I had a glimpse of what a movie this could have been if it actually aimed for those heights. I was like, could this film be getting to a point where it's actually engaging and intriguing and fun? And it never got to that level. It just kind of went to a peak and then it went right back down again. And this happened several times throughout the course of the film. There were several moments where I was like, oh, we're finally getting somewhere. We're going to have a good time. This is going to be a great film. And it never accomplishes that. I think there are a lot of problems out of the gate with this film. I think it's a very overlong movie, and that might seem like something crazy since it's only an hour and 47 minutes, but you feel the length. At least I did. Yeah, it was long. The plot, if you don't know, follows Santa, who's basically a badass in this universe. He visits the home of a rich family one night on Christmas Eve, and a bunch of mercenaries take over the house, demanding that they get paid the money that's hidden in a vault in a basement. And Santa comes in and does some John Wick type stuff. Yay! This film is produced by a man named David Leitch, who, if you don't know, directed the Deadpool 2, I believe, and he also directed Bullet Train. I absolutely adored Bullet Train. It actually made my top 10 favorites of the year video, which you can find up here. I absolutely adored that film. I thought it was a great time. It was very, very violent, which is David Leitch's trademark. But yeah. So I went in expecting, he produced it, he didn't direct it, of course, but I expected, David Leitch's name is involved. It'll reach the same heights as Bullet Train, where, yes, it's going to be violent, as the name suggests, but it's also going to be a fun time. It's not going to be, overly, corny. And this film is just so corny that I had a serious problem with it. It doesn't take itself seriously like it should in some scenes. It is like a Home Alone copy if Home Alone involved Kevin McAllister beating the crap out of the bandits that broke into his home and killing them. I'm dead serious about that. There's a scene in this movie where a young girl decides to literally set traps like they say in Home Alone, and she literally severely injures these people. It was funny because it kind of calls out the hilariousness of Home Alone, where these villains are literally torn to shreds but still survive. It kind of calls that to mind and makes fun of it, but still, it's not funny. It's not fun. David Harbour, obviously people are going to be seeing this for David Harbour. I would not personally waste money to go see this if you're a David Harbour fan or a Stranger Things fan. I feel like his acting is minimal. He doesn't do much good acting. In fact, there's no good acting in this movie. Every single character is so poorly cast. There's not a moment where I was like, dang, someone really stepped it up in the cast and it was actually like an engaging performance. It's not. David Harbour is doing his best to stay awake in this movie. He's obviously just there for the paycheck and nothing else. The father in this film, I forget the actor's name, but he's in a lot of other movies. The father in this film has a scene towards the end where I almost laughed out loud at how ridiculously fake his acting was in a time of real trauma and sadness that the character should be experiencing. The young girl, I hate hating on child actors like this because they're obviously up and coming and I want to reinforce them positively. But the young actress is doing an okay job with what she's given. She's not given much. The script sucks and the movie itself sucks. But, I mean, she does her best. She tries her best. And then I was staring at this one character in the film. I was like, is that really her? Yes, Beverly D'Angelo, the mother from Christmas Vacation, is in this movie. And oh my gosh, I do not know what happened. I don't even know why she's in this film. If someone had not pointed it out to me in the group I went with, I would not guessed it was Beverly D'Angelo. And the movie like wants to treat it like this giant cameo. It's like, oh yeah, I remember her. Is that supposed to be like a cameo or something I'm like supposed to care about? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you guys are probably expecting an action movie with a lot of violent scenes, and here you will find a lot. In fact, I feel like this film personally goes way over the top on violence. I'm not someone who shies away from violence. I don't care about violence in movies. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like condoning it, but I'm also not one of the people who's like saying violence in movies is bad. I think in moderation, violence in movies is fine, and I'm not one who's like shying away. Like, I like John Wick, I like other violent movies, but this one is particularly just like troubling for me because it goes way over the top. It's mean-spirited, it's crude, it's gory, it's graphic. There are some parts in this where I literally had to look away from the screen, and I never have to do that in a movie when I watch. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, watch. You're going to have a fun time being grossed out. There were moments that I literally wanted to vomit. It's literally cringe-inducing violence. It's not like tasteful. It's different from Bullet Train. Bullet Train was violent, yes, but the violence worked in comparison with the story. It like kind of meshed together well. This is literally just like Saw levels of gore, blood. It's just, I don't know. It really sat with me the wrong way. Basically, I went in expecting it's going to be violent, but it's going to be a Christmas movie too. So there's going to be this like Christmas air to it, right? And really, this movie did not get me in the Christmas spirit. It actually made me want to skip Christmas entirely. So that's going to be something you might struggle with. The film, I feel like, is going to divide audiences in two different ways. You're either going to love this film and think it's kick-ass and awesome, you're going to be like me and think it sucks. The people I went with like 5 people to this screening, and a couple of them loved it. They rated it a 7 out of 10, as you saw. My friend Meredith rated it a 7 out of 10. They loved the film. They thought it was a fun, gory time. And there's other people like me who despise this film in the group. The mixed reactions, I was standing outside the theater for a minute, and the other people trickling out of the theater afterwards were saying either that was the best movie I've ever seen, it's so perfect for Christmas, or there were people that were like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, I never want to watch that again. And I think that's the camp I fall into. Christmas movies at the end of the day are stuff that like you want to watch every year around this time of year. Like you're like, oh, you have your like favorite Christmas movies, like Christmas Vacation, as I mentioned, Elf is a favorite. I mean, a bunch of other classic Christmas movies. This is not that. I will never watch this again during the Christmas season. It's just, Christmas is a time where you're supposed to be, in a positive mindset. This is so mean-spirited, so unfunny, so crass, so crude that it just, I don't know, it left me with a bad taste in my mouth. You guys probably think I'm being like overly sensitive or something to this film, and that's not it. It's just, I don't know, it was disappointing to see what this film could have been and what it actually was. And also, I didn't appreciate the fact that some of the action violent scenes, it's kind of like John Wick and a Hallmark Channel combined. And when I say Hallmark Channel, I mean Hallmark Channel because there is some corny romantic stuff in here that made me literally roll my eyes. The ending resembles a Hallmark Channel movie, and it's like that tonal mismatch where one moment you're watching Santa beat up a bunch of bad guys, and then the next moment you're watching a heartfelt romantic story between two people. And it's stuff like that that I'm like, I don't know. It's just so confusing to me to have to watch that. I don't get it. At the end of the day, there are some positives of this film. The choreography and the action scenes and the fight scenes is excellent. The camera work is smooth. And John Leguizamo is a delight as always. But at the end of the day, this is a film that I can basically not recommend to anybody I know. Yeah. Go in, watch it, form your own opinion, see if you like it. If you like violent John Wick style thriller, you're going to like this. Even beyond thriller stuff, it's technically not well made or well written. The script is really just clunky. The performances do not work, and it's not engaging. I would have loved this even more if the fight scenes had been engaging, but instead they try to throw in this dramatic angle, which, like, when you're watching a film like this, you don't want to be bored with thematic, like, exposition scenes. You want to be thrilled and be on the edge of your seat, and that was so few and far between in this film that it rarely happened. I would say go check it out, see if it's your cup of tea. I would personally give Violent Night a 32%. Sorry, I wanted to like this movie so bad. Anyway, that's my review of Violent Night. Don't forget to click the subscribe button down below, like the video, and comment down below which movies I should recommend so I can add them to my watch list. Until then, this is Mitchell signing off. Peace out.